Choose what you watch together. News. It's all around you. But there's one place you can get it best. From people you know and trust. The inside of Walters, Brinkley, and Koppel. The leadership and experience of Peter Jennings. The people of ABC News. Together, they're uniquely qualified to bring you the world.
Next on Eyewitness News, the story of the contaminated blood. As many as 500 people in New York State may have been given blood that contains the AIDS virus.
Charges of price fixing in the sale and distribution of beer in New York. A New Jersey bridal shop closes after taking money for gowns and not delivering them.
A week before my wedding, and he skips out of town.
And Bob Dylan comes to Madison Square Garden. And we'll switch live to the Astrodome, where Eli Zarrett will talk with some of New York's All-Stars. I'm Ernie Anastas.
And I'm Katie Tawn. Those stories and more next on Eyewitness News.
New York's going positively wild over Chem Plus banking from Chemical Bank.
You got to accentuate the positive.
Chem Plus gives you high-interest super savings.
It lets me play with my favorite notes.
Low-interest loans, free checking, and a credit card.
Take my wife, please, but don't take my Chem Plus.
Chem Plus from Chemical. Examine your bank. You'll be banking at Chemical.
It's got the best stuff I've ever seen. Sorry, Dwight.
When you come to Meineke Discount Mufflers, relax.
I'm not gonna pay a lot for this muffler.
You're not going to pay a lot for your muffler.
I'm not gonna pay a lot for this muffler.
I'm not gonna pay a lot for this muffler.
Meineke's the nation's discount muffler leader. We'll fix your car the right way at the right price from $18.93 to $26.95 installed.
Oh, I'm not gonna pay a lot for this muffler.
You're not going to pay a lot at Meineke.
Yes, ma'am. I want to look at the sleeve.
Hello, girls. I need another limousine. Where's the yellow pages? Mama, have you seen the yellow pages? Gina, where's the yellow pages?
I don't know, Pop.
One book is in more homes, helping people find more goods and services. The official directory of New York Telephone. The 9X Yellow Pages.
Girl.
It's always there when you need it.
Soap's bad girl Robin Mattson and How to Talk to Your Doctor, tomorrow at 9.
This is Eyewitness News with Ernie Anastas and Katie Tong, plus Spencer Christian, Storm Field, and the Eyewitness News team.
Good evening. Officials say there is no reason to panic, but there is a new scare tonight concerning AIDS. Blood bank officials are contacting individuals who may have received contaminated blood. Louis Young has details.
AIDS came on the scene silently at first, a hidden killer which is still difficult to detect. We know the victims carry the virus, but so do thousands of others who live normal lives unaware of the potential danger in their bloodstreams. Some, it turns out, have donated blood, passing the danger to others. About a year ago, blood banks around the country began screening their donors for the presence of the AIDS antibody in the bloodstream. That generally indicates the presence of the virus. Now, every time they identified an AIDS-carrying blood donor, they'd go back through the records to check to see if that person had ever donated blood before. And some had. Right now, the National Red Cross estimates 3,000 patients may have received such suspect blood since 1980. 500 of those people are New Yorkers. They will all be contacted and tested themselves for the AIDS antibody.
It's troublesome news. We get a lot of troublesome news in our lives. People are able to cope. I think people are able to cope better with knowing that they will be told the truth.
But what does it mean? Of the 3,000 people being contacted, the experts tell me half will get a clean bill of health, testing negative for the AIDS antibody. More than 1,000 will test positive with no other outward sign of disease, and an estimated 450 can be expected to contract AIDS and sadly die. Our Eyewitness News physician, Dr. Jay Adlersberg, says the carriers will have to change their sexual habits to prevent a further spreading of the disease.
People who test positive for the AIDS antibody surely can have sex, but they should follow the safe sex guidelines that have been set out by the committees who discuss AIDS, and that is to limit oral sex and, while having intercourse, use condoms. Condoms are the safest way to prevent the spread of the AIDS virus.
In fact, safe sex is where the experts are concentrating their prevention efforts to stem the spread of AIDS. The blood supply, they say, is statistically very, very safe. although for an unlucky few, it was not safe enough. Louis Young, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Police in Brooklyn are looking for the man they call the Spider-Man Rapist. He struck again today, the fourth time he has attacked a woman in her apartment while other family members were there. His latest victim was sexually abused but not raped in her home near Sterling Place and Vanderbilt Avenue in the Crown Heights section of the borough. Police say that he came in through a fourth-floor window near a fire escape. All his attacks have taken place within a 20-block area, and he uses the same methods.
In the early morning hours, from 4 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the morning, he enters through a window. He's armed with a knife. He wears dark clothing and a ski mask.
He is called Spider-Man because he takes leaps or walks through narrow ledges to get to the upper floor windows, and he robs his victims too. Now, in today's incident, he tied up the victim's husband before taking her stereo and other property. Police describe him as black. He is 5'8" to 5'10", weighing about 150 to 160 pounds with a scant goatee. Now, if you have any information, you're asked to call this number, 718-287-0311. There has been an outpouring of sympathy and support for Stephen McDonald, the police officer shot in the spine Saturday in Central Park. His father, a retired police sergeant, met with reporters today to express the family's appreciation. Tracy Egan was there, and she's joining us right now with the story. Tracy?
Ernie, the father, David McDonald, took time out from his vigil at Stephen's bedside to tell the public there's no change in his son's condition, and the family welcomes our concern.
David McDonald told reporters his son understands everything that's said to him. But Stephen McDonald has not asked about, nor has his family told him about, the Saturday shooting in Central Park. He was shot when he attempted to arrest 15-year-old Shavod Jones, who allegedly pumped 3 bullets into McDonald. His father was asked if he's angry that the courts freed Jones after he was charged with an armed robbery, and a probation officer ignored a plea from Jones' mother to lock him up.
It's not an emotion or a desire of ours right now to be angry. We've got too much to be sorrowful for. And right now, too much to be thankful for.
Apparently, the public is moved by the plight of the third-generation New York cop who lies in the intensive care unit here at Bellevue, paralyzed from the neck down. Hundreds of people have called the Patrolmen's Benevolent Association asking what they can do to help. So the PBA has set up a special fund for the McDonalds. Contributions can be mailed to the Police Officer Stephen McDonald Fund, care of the PBA, Box 771, Church Street Station, New York, New York, 10008. David McDonald said his family is moved by the public's desire to help.
As the spokesman for Patty Ann and my wife and my family, it would be the largest thank you card the world has ever seen. Stephen is that kind of a boy, a man. He always did bring out the best in people. It's a shame he had to do it in such a tragic fashion.
There is a chance that Officer McDonald's paralysis will go away when doctors are able to remove bullet fragments lodged in his spine. But it's just a chance. His father says the family welcomes our prayers. Katie?
I think many people will be praying for him. Thank you, Tracy. Not all the news tonight is bad. A happy event took place tonight in Houston, the annual Baseball All-Star Game. There were more New York players there than from any other city. And Eli Zaret is standing by live at the Astrodome with more on this. Eli.
Well, yes, Katie, we have just completed the All-Star Game for 7 innings or so. Not a very compelling game. In fact, the fielding was kind of a dog. Fortunately, it picked up at the end and got to be exciting as the National League loses rarely to the American League. 19 strikeouts in the game, made very little offense. Most of the great hitters in the world are rendered helpless for much of the game. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the highlights of this rare American League victory. In the second inning, 2 out. Dwight Gooden facing Lou Whitaker threw an 0-2 curveball. The Tigers' second baseman ripped into the right field seats for a 2-run homer. Very bad mistake by Gooden. What with the pitcher coming up next? And the National League led the game at that point 2-0. Outstanding performance of the night in a losing cause. Fernando Valenzuela fanned 5 straight batters, including Don Mattingly, equaled Carl Hubbell's 52-year-old record, but his K's went for naught as the National League loses. Later, a Frank White solo homer made it 3-0, and the National unfortunately came back with 2 runs. With me is Met manager Davey Johnson. Davey, first of all, just your impressions of the game tonight.
Well, I was pleased with my guys. Darryl got a good hit, and I was really pleased with the way Sid Fernandez threw the ball. He was real nervous, and he walked the first 2 hitters and came back and struck out the side. So that's a shot in the arm for that young man.
Gooden giving Whitaker something to hit. That must have surprised you. Obviously, he wasn't trying to pitch to the guy, was he?
Well, he's a good fastball hitter, and he threw him 2 breaking balls. And, you know, those things happen. You don't want to walk a guy in the All-Star game. You want to pitch to him. It's a matchup between the superstars, and that's what can happen.
Okay, you're getting ready for the second half of the season. You must have thought a little bit when Roger Clemens was out there that you could see him down the road, maybe in the World Series. Were you impressed with him?
I sure was. He threw the ball very well, and he's a fine pitcher.
Okay, Davey, thanks a lot for joining us. Appreciate it. Dave Johnson, manager of the Mets, who was a little non-committal on Roger Clemens, who he certainly hopes to see in the World Series. We'll be back a little later in the newscast with more from here at the Astrodome. Now back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Eli. Still ahead tonight on Eyewitness News at 11, charges of price fixing in the distribution of beer in our area. A bridal shop in New Jersey closes abruptly, leaving brides who paid for gowns with nothing to wear.
And later, Bob Dylan in concert will take you to Madison Square Garden.
Honey, did you make the payment on the Isuzu?
No.
Did you pay it last month?
I haven't made a payment on the pickup since we bought it.
3 months without a payment? Does the word repossession mean anything to you?
Make your best deal on any new Isuzu pickup, and your first 3 payments will be paid by Isuzu, so relax.
Hey, Mr. Accountant, did you pay the electric bill?
The Isuzu pickup sale. We pick up your first 3 payments. See your local Isuzu dealer today.
It's Fortunoff summer clearance on outdoor furniture with savings of up to 60% off. Our exclusive 5-piece European resin dining set, clearance price, $279. An electric tabletop grill, Fortunoff's clearance price, $75. Our 5-piece resin dining set by Mola, clearance price, $299. And specially priced at over 60% off on a park bench, a low $29. It's Fortunoff's great outdoor furniture clearance sale, going on now, Westbury and Wayne.
Dave, you gotta taste my new sundae. It kind of grows on you.
Earl, huh? Taste the real sundae and get a hot deal from Friendly.
Oh, boy, it's hot.
Our Friendly $1 off Sunday sale. Get $1 off any Friendly Sunday when you buy any sandwich or platter. All summer long, the Friendly $1 off Sunday sale.
I think I'm in love. Will you marry me?
Friendly has a flavor all its own.
AT&T is in consumer marketing. Burger King serves over 4 million people every day. And every night, they use AT&T Watts to collect clear, accurate data from their restaurants all over the country. So they always know what's selling. Is Burger King keeping their customers happy? With AT&T Watts, the data is very clear. Talk with us. AT&T, the right choice.
Tomorrow on the morning show, find out how to ask your doctor all those questions you wish you could, but you're afraid to ask.
Plus, Soap's bad girl, Robin Madsen.
Also, kid chefs and pets and their people.
Concern is growing tonight over the fate of an American missionary and 10 Filipino nuns kidnapped in the Philippines. President Corazon Aquino has rejected a $100,000 ransom demand. It is not known yet what effect her tough stand will have on the captives. The American is 30-year-old Bill Lawrence. He is affiliated with the International Missions based in Wayne, New Jersey. Lawrence and the nuns were kidnapped by Muslim extremists in separate incidents. Heidi?
Well, we may be at a turning point in the war against drugs. The president of Bolivia asked for U.S. Army troops and helicopters to raid cocaine factories, and President Reagan has said yes. There are only 100 GIs and 6 copters involved, but this is the first commitment of our troops to the war on drugs. Mr. Reagan recently declared troops are going to be used because drug traffickers corrupt friendly governments and endanger our security. Well, if you drank a beer during the All-Star Game tonight, State Attorney General Robert Abrams says you may have paid too much for it. Abrams has filed an antitrust price-fixing suit. Virtually all the major brands are involved. The scheme allegedly involves exclusive distribution rights and an extra 50 cents per six-pack.
Well, there are some disappointed brides in southern New Jersey who hope that their wedding dresses will make it to the church on time. 70 brides left deposits on custom-made wedding gowns. But the Modern Bridal Shop in Auburn, New Jersey has locked its doors and gone out of business. The owner, Stanley Fine, is nowhere to be found, and the brides are frantically searching for something to wear to the wedding.
I just started crying. I couldn't believe it was, you know, a week before my wedding and he skips out of town.
Over the past 2 days now, trying to calm down a woman who has been hysterical, trying to find a wedding dress. Thank God we found one, but now we have to find out where the money's going to come from.
The Camden County Prosecutor's Office is handling the complaints. The store owner has over $40,000 in deposits on wedding gowns and bridesmaid dresses. Well, a lightweight experimental airplane may have set a new world record for flying without refueling. The propeller-driven Voyager landed early this morning after 111 hours in the air. During that time, Voyager pilots Dick Rutten and Gianna Yeager traveled nearly 12,000 miles. The route was a continuous loop between San Francisco and San Luis Obispo, California. The record still has to be verified. Well, the next trip for the Voyager is a round-the-world flight without refueling, and that happens in September.
Still ahead, Storm Field joins us with the forecast for the rest of this week.
And also, the competition was very tough tonight in Central Park as the Yuppies take off their three-piece suits to race each other in the Corporate Challenge.
New York's going positively wild over Chem Plus banking from Chemical Bank.
You got to accentuate the positive.
Chem Plus gives you high-interest super savings.
It lets me play with my favorite notes.
Low-interest loans, free checking, and a credit card.
Take my wife, please, but don't take my Chem Plus.
Chem Plus from Chemical. Examine your bank. You'll be banking at Chemical.
It's got the best stuff I've ever seen.
Sorry, Dwight.
Today's automotive world is filled with compromise. To get luxury and performance, you have to sacrifice value. Nissan disagrees. Witness the luxurious 1987 Maxima. Its heart and soul is the fuel-injected overhead cam V6 from our legendary Z car. The 1987 Maxima, a powerful rebuttal to the notion of compromise. The name is Nissan, America's #1 selling import car.
In Chicago, the Windy City, the word around town is German.
Bex.
In Boston, where all parties are not tea parties, the word around town is German.
Bex.
And in San Francisco, the city where people leave their hearts, the word around town is German.
Bex.
Bex, the #1 imported German beer.
When you come to Meineke Discount Mufflers, relax.
I'm not gonna pay a lot for this muffler.
You're not gonna pay a lot for your muffler.
I'm not gonna pay a lot for this muffler.
I'm not gonna pay a lot for this muffler.
Meineke's the nation's discount muffler leader. We'll fix your car the right way at the right price from $18.93 to $26.95 installed.
Oh, I'm not gonna pay a lot for this muffler.
You're not gonna pay a lot at Meineke.
It's laughing and loving.
This is terrific.
It's a living. Catch all the fun. Saturday at 7 on Channel 7.
Oh, yeah.
10,000 runners invaded Central Park tonight for one of the year's biggest races, the race the second in a series of manufacturers' Hanover corporate challenges. Companies from all over the New York area send teams to compete. In the men's division, Bud Coates of Rawdale Press will be a big man in the office tomorrow. He set a new meet record for the 3.5-mile distance at 16 minutes, 7 seconds. The women's winner, Mary Beth Evans of MTI Marketing Travel in 19 minutes, 21 seconds.
Big group out there tonight. Congratulations. Yeah. Not a bad night to run either. A little breeze.
Yeah, also a little bit warm, though. I think a little cooler they would have liked a little more. I can't imagine how, if you were in the middle of the pack, it would have taken you 20 minutes just to get into a space where you get your feet out in front of you.
Right.
But weather tomorrow, another great day. More sunshine on tap, another beautiful day. High pressure continuing to stay in over the region. As it builds in across the area, it is not going to be any problem for us. Nothing but sunshine to have to fight for tomorrow. Most you have to worry about is having the right pair of sunglasses with you. Then as the day goes along, a little bit more warmer and more humid air begins to leak up over the top, and as it does, we get a buildup of some clouds tomorrow evening. You're going to feel the humidity increase as we go through the evening, and by Wednesday, it looks like humidity is going to be there. Excuse me, tomorrow's Wednesday. By Thursday, let me just... Okay, so by Thursday, that's right, I have to fix this watch. We're going to be having a little bit more in the way of humidity coming in and covering the area. As you take a look at the latest satellite picture, you got nothing to worry about in here, but notice the thunder showers breaking out across the southeast. That's definitely good news. They need that rain down in there, whatever they can get. They're having a very severe drought situation right now. For us, a little bit more of this warming air coming up here. You're going to see more of these clouds building up, close up of us. Again, not showing much in the way of any problems, although some showers breaking out in Massachusetts and Connecticut, although we have not had very much rain, not as much as we normally expect down here in metropolitan New York. That entire level, moving from the midsection of New York State right across into southern New England, has actually gotten more than their share of rain, which has really helped our reservoirs. Forecast then for tomorrow, not looking bad at all. Tomorrow morning, sunshine, temperature about 68 degrees, pretty much ballpark what we expect to see this time of year. Speaking of ballpark, there's Spencer Christian. Nope, it's hiding in that boat right there. Mostly sunny and pleasant, 86 on Wednesday. And then the long-range forecast, sunshine and clouds. Notice it getting a little bit cooler and a little bit cloudier at the end of the week, and then it clears up, and the weekend looks like it's going to be magnificent.
Okay with me. Thanks, Storm. And speaking of Spencer Christian, he's here with us, and Eli Zaret, of course, is standing by live in Houston. That's coming up.
You bet they'll have more on the All-Star Game. Tell you how the Mets and all the action took place tonight. We'll be right back.
Field corner, and it's a fair.
Is this the key to your car? If so, consider the Honda Civic DX hatchback. It's full of space. The key is its long lines and innovative engineering. It keeps you from feeling packed in. Even the rear seats slide back and recline. You know, this small car is so big, it's simply uncanny.
Yeah, he's ready.
How does it feel when the phone rings and it's for me? Who's batting? Who am I facing? Nervous? I want that nervous edge.
Come on, let's go get him.
Keep cool. Keep cool.
Keep it down, buddy.
I can't trust what I got in the bullpen. Here goes nothing.
Sports Illustrated. Get the feeling.
Yes, ma'am. I want to look at the sleeve.
Hello, girls. Listen, I need another limousine. Where's the yellow pages? Mama, have you seen the yellow pages? Gina, where's the yellow pages?
I don't know.
One book is in more homes, helping people find more goods and services. The official directory of New York Telephone. The 9X Yellow Pages.
Girl.
It's always there when you need it.
It doesn't come from Amoco, or Exxon, or Mobil. At 93.5, it's the highest octane of all major premiums. No other gasoline under the sun can help your engine deliver more power. It's Ultra, and it only comes from Sunoco. It's Sunoco 93.5 Ultra, the highest octane under the sun.
Tomorrow on the morning show, find out how to ask your doctor all those questions you wish you could, but you're afraid to ask.
Plus soap Batgirl, Robin Madsen.
Also, kid chefs and pets and their people.
All right, Spencer Christian, who's usually right on the money with his predictions. Usually right. And tonight, he was wrong.
You're a loud one.
The National League made me look bad tonight. You know, I predicted a National League victory, and I was wrong. The American League won baseball's 57th All-Star Game by a score of 3-2. Only the third win for the American League in the last 24 All-Star Games. Pick up the action here in the second inning. Dave Winfield of the Yankees up at bat against Dwight Gooden of the Mets, and Winfield doubles down into the right field corner. He would later come around to score on Lou Whitaker's two-run home run off the good doctor, who was not at his best tonight. In the fifth inning, Fernando Valenzuela of the Dodgers strikes out Ted Higuera, his fifth consecutive strikeout, tying Carl Hubbell's All-Star Game record. Seventh inning action now. Sid Fernandez of the Mets strikes out the side, getting Don Mattingly of the Yankees swinging here. Okay, National League scored 2 runs in the 8th inning, 1 here with Charlie Huff facing former Met Hubie Brooks. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Ball gets by the catcher. Chris Brown running on the play, safe at home. It's 3-1, and later it became 3-2. Now, bottom of the ninth, 3-2 American League. Don Ossie facing Chris Brown. Brown hits into a game-ending double play. American League wins it 3-2. Roger Clemens, the winner. Dwight Gooden, the loser. And Eli Zaret had the good fortune of witnessing this game in person, sort of an eyewitness, you might say. So let's go live to Eli at the Astrodome for a post-game wrap-up. Eli.
I'm here with an even closer eyewitness, Darryl Strawberry. You've come so used to the National League winning these things. You're a little shocked that you guys didn't take another one.
Yeah, it was a little surprised, but Roger Clemens was overpowering. He held us down the first 3 innings. No hits, 2 strikeouts, but, you know, he pitched an outstanding ball game.
Were you shocked to see Dwight Gooden give Whitaker a pitch to hit with Clemens coming up next?
I was a little bit surprised. I think Dwight wanted to get the pitch down in the dirt. He just happened to get the pitch up. And you have to give a credit to Lou Whitaker. Lou Whitaker's a good hitter now. You just can't make those kind of mistakes in that situation.
Okay, the All-Star game is over. You have a chance to rest now, or you got to jump right back into the second half?
We got a chance to rest for one day, but it's nice that everything is over with and we can concentrate on what we have to do now. Get our second half of the season going. We accomplished a lot of things in the first half, and we look forward to a great half for the second half of the season for our ball club.
Darryl, thanks a lot for joining us. Good luck the second half.
All right.
Appreciate it. Darryl Strawberry, a fine ball player, a very cooperative human being, and he helps us out again tonight. So that's it from the Astrodome, Spencer. Yeah, we had a pretty good time. Next assignment's yours. Back to you.
Okay, Eli. Thank you, and thank you, Darryl. All right, on to basketball. Will the doctor take his medicine to Utah? It could happen. Word is that Dr. J, Julius Erving, may have played his last game as a Philadelphia 76er and could be in a Utah Jazz uniform next season. Jazz owner Larry Miller says he's prepared to offer Erving, who's a free agent, a 2-year, $4 million contract. But Sixers general manager John Nash says his team is very close to a deal with the doctor, and he's not worried about the Utah offer. Erving himself would say only that he's not yet ready to make a deal with anybody. And finally, we take a moment to remember Billy Haughton. The 62-year-old Hall of Fame harness driver died today of head injuries suffered in a spill at Yonkers Raceway on July 5th. This is a tape of the July 5th accident. Houghton's horse, Sunny Key, collided with a horse that had gone down, throwing Houghton out of his sulky and onto his head. Houghton suffered severe head injuries, lapsed into a coma, and never regained consciousness. He died today at Westchester County Medical Center in Valhalla, New York. And that's sports for tonight. Folks.
Thank you, Spencer.
Spencer, still ahead. Bob Dylan at Madison Square Garden tonight.
And that Polish ship that arrived late for opsail may finally be heading home with some help from the NYPD. And Bob Dylan.
In Canada, where this is considered walking the dog, you don't make a faint-hearted light beer. Now there's imported Molson Light.
New York's going positively wild over Chem Plus banking from Chemical Bank.
You got to accentuate the positive.
Chem Plus gives you high-interest super savings.
It lets me play with my favorite notes.
Low-interest loans, free checking, and a credit card.
Take my wife, please, but don't take my Chem Plus.
Chem Plus from Chemical. Examine your bank. You'll be banking at Chemical.
It's got the best stuff I've ever seen.
Sorry, Dwight. Here's how a typical business uses the Bell Atlantic business-to-business directory.
I need 3 million wing nuts. Find them.
Found them. I need some help with my calculator.
I've got your number.
My copy machine won't copy right.
I copy.
I need a new T-square.
You got it.
Get me new lights, please.
In a flash.
Collators.
Rubber stamps. Toggle switches.
You got it.
So use it. The Bell Atlantic business-to-business directory, where business is looking up.
Legendary rocker Bob Dylan performed at Madison Square Garden tonight. Dylan, who is celebrating 25 years as a performer with a world tour, is backed up by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. They will be performing at the Garden through Thursday. Bob Dylan, very busy lately with a new album, a new movie, and an HBO special. Ernie?
All right, and finally, things are looking up tonight for the crew of the Polish tall ship Stowmill. Now, you may recall the Stowmill arrived 4 days late for the Liberty Weekend celebration because of a blown engine. Well, now the Volvo company has donated a new engine. The Volvo people will work very hard to install it with mechanics from the police department's harbor unit. The job should take a couple of days, and then the ship will sail up the Hudson, through the Erie Canal, into the Great Lakes, and on to Chicago, and happy sailing.
They must be taking the long way back to Poland. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.
Nightline's coming up next year for all of us. Katie, Storm, Spencer, the rest of the Eyewitness News team. I'm Ernie Anastas. They're probably making a little stop there.
Of course.
I'm Ernie Anastas. Have a nice night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
When I first saw an Alfa Romeo, I thought, admire it from afar, but don't get your hopes up. But then I visited my Alfa Romeo dealer. He proved that an Alfa Romeo, with its timeless Pininfarina design, an interior that could only be Italian, and pulse-quickening performance, was more affordable than I ever dreamed. Alfa Romeo, pure passion, within reason.
In this whole wide world, there's one spectacular taste you just can't pass up. Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
Play Pepsi Pennant Fever and get free tickets to a Mets or Yankees game. See specially marked displays for details.
Saturday night, take an ambitious television reporter.
I want to come back to New York, and I want to be assigned some stories that matter.
Add one unfaithful wife.
Are you having an affair?
Mix in a couple of blackmailers.
I said for tonight, he's completely hooked.
A mysterious woman in red. A murder. An outrageous detective.
Hello.
And what you have is simply Scandalous, starring Robert Hayes, Saturday night at 11:45 on Channel 7.
Soap's bad girl Robin Mattson and How to Talk to Your Doctor tomorrow at 9.
Hello, Dad. Yeah, this is Bill Butel. Right, they're going to have a statement, I think, in about 10 minutes.
He's covered New York for more than 20 years.
I think it's a lead story. I think we could go 4 or 5 minutes with this one. We have tape of the actual occurrence at the UN and an interview with the minister at the embassy.
He's covered the world.
We're
from London, Beirut, Africa, Vietnam.
What floor is he on, do you know?
It's a part of the worldwide terrorism problem. It's not just New York City.
People watch him because they know.
He'll be coming down in just a few minutes.
There is no substitute for experience.
About terrorism, we're going to get him on satellite down to Washington. Mr. Minister, why do you think it happened? Were you surprised that happened? So many of these things happen.
Bill Butel.
There's more terrorism than there is.
Channel 7.
Compared to the rest of the world. Took away that idea.
Eyewitness News at 6.
Regular breast x-rays for women over 40 could save thousands of lives. We'll have a report on why most doctors are not giving them tomorrow on World News Tonight.